This is Austin Energy's real-time desk located in Town Lake Center. These operators schedule and dispatch Austin Energy generation real-time to meet the power demands of our customers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey, go ahead and bring me on Sandhill GT number 1 and fully loaded.
The responsibility here is to ensure adequate power for our community, and that requires 100% availability of our generating units. The Sandhill combined cycle unit is the most efficient natural gas fueled generation available today. This plant also has 4 peaking units that can be up and running in about the same time it takes a jet to get from the gate to the skies.
Jet engine units can be on in 10 minutes, which is a very big advantage because you can start up fast, run for a while, shut down, and repeat that cycle. So we actually cycle more than twice a day on some occasions with these engines.
Maintenance staff at Sandhill take care of this plant around the clock. That means constantly learning and staying up to date on the technology and using the best tools like this borescope to diagnose problems.
We use a borescope to do routine checks on the integrity of the internal of the engine. It allows us to see problems that may be starting to develop before they become major issues.
In this case, the borescope inspection of one of the turbines revealed the need for a substantial repair. An outage was scheduled and the turbine was pulled. Not a simple process, and one in earlier years that might have been performed by contractors.
The first time we had to start pulling engines, we had it completely done by contractors. And now we're having them do just a little bit of it. Part of that's developing your maintenance crew and getting the right people and the right training. We've been sending some people off to specialized schools for what we're doing here today, as well as some other things.
Working on a unit like this is about the same as working on a jumbo jet. In fact, this is literally a jet engine, just like those found on a 747.
Basically, the only difference is this engine is set up for the power to be transmitted to a drive shaft instead of to a fan, which would provide thrust for a jet engine.
So it may not be surprising to learn that one of the newest members of the maintenance team at Sandhill came to us from an airline.
I originally came from Continental Express Airlines, 8 years as a aircraft mechanic. I came to this industry, and it's pretty interesting to see how it carries over from carrying passengers to making generation.
That turbine that needed a repair came back last week and was reinstalled. By removing and reinstalling the gas turbine themselves, Sandhill maintenance staff saved the utility about $60,000.
I think there's a lot of pride in what they do. I think they really like a challenge, and they rise up and meet it. I'm always amazed at the things they come up with and they do, and usually as soon as they say there's a problem, they also have a solution. We have a very talented staff here of a lot of experience.
Here on the turbine deck of the Decker Creek Power Station, the maintenance team is focused on an additional challenge. Decker set a record last year for the number of startups, a workload that puts more pressure on the plant and therefore on maintenance.
We have to be a lot more innovative and fast on our feet in the maintenance areas. We have to be able to react to situations that come up, whereas in the past we would have a very long outage period and then we would get ready for a long, slow summer run, and then we'd be back offline and do another outage period.
You heat things up and cool things down more frequently and more rapid. You increase pressure, decrease pressure. It does stress the equipment more than it did in years past. We have to keep an eye on that from a maintenance perspective. We have to watch our preventive maintenance and our predictive maintenance. We use thermography and vibration analysis. We keep tabs on our equipment more than we ever had to in the past.
That means the Decker maintenance staff have to be diligent, very proactive, and very knowledgeable about the capabilities of this plant. Because this plant is older, it was built in the 1970s, consistent and expert maintenance is doubly important. The staff here knows this plant from top to bottom.
So what this does, it's an internal power source to excite the armature on the exciter, which in turn excites the main rotor to supply voltage going out to the grid.
This is actually called the PMG, the permanent magnet generator. Basically what I'm doing is I'm cleaning the top of the base just so when I get ready to put it in place, it'll just slide right in. There's a channel there, so it has to slide inside that channel.
And many times the solution to a problem can't be found in the manual.
We have to machine our own parts in a lot of cases, which we do.
Above all, Stephen says, we take pride in what we do. At Decker, the pride is there along with tremendous know-how.
The group together has all the sufficient knowledge required to do any maintenance, any repairs that we have.
Decker has been providing nearly 1,000 megawatts of reliable power for 40 years. So it is critically important that new maintenance personnel are aggressive learners.
If you don't care about this place, it doesn't run. It's that simple. You have to know what it sounds like, what it feels like, and you have to care.
And with the maintenance program in place today, Decker will last a lot longer.
This stuff is well maintenance, it'll last another 100 years.
The work and the efforts that our guys do on a daily basis out here keep these units running longer than you would expect. We go longer times between major overhauls. They watch over this equipment like it was their own car.
It may be a bit hard to imagine how a misty day could trigger burning and smoldering at the top of power poles. But that's what we had one day last week, 18 pole fires in all. In most cases, crews trimmed the poles at the top and reset the lines and other equipment. A few poles did have to be replaced. But what causes this type of phenomenon?
The dust, dirt collect on the insulators and eventually it tracks over onto the pole and creates a fire, and we got to come out and put them out.
Most of the pole fires themselves did not cause outages. We actually had to turn the power off briefly in each situation to make repairs. But the 18 pole fires meant that power was out briefly for perhaps as many as 10,000 customers at different times. Bottom line, what the Austin energy system needs right now is a good rain.